A long table was covered with a white cloth where exquisite dishes were brought out one by the servants. A glass of shimmering red tea was poured, its gentle fragrance spreading. Noticing this, Anna asked, "Are you not eating?" John calmly replied, "Please help yourself," but he was actually captivated by her courteous face. "I am fine like this, so please eat by yourself." It was a bit embarrassing, but my fiancé seems to be hungry. "Is there something you wanted to say?" The prince has nothing to say, but he was the one who suggested this meeting, and so their conversation continued. "We should have a meal together once before the wedding, that was all. What I was waiting for a different reason." "No, she has a strange sense of humor, Miss Hardy. Just tell me what you want to hear," and with that, Anna's face flushed. "Yes," she said shyly. "I want to bring my servant into the palace, the gatekeeper of hell." "That can be as you wish. If you want more people, that's fine, as many as you'd like. No lira is all I need." "Thank you for agreeing, Your Highness." Anna shyly hesitated before continuing, "And there is one more thing I'd like to ask you." "Go on." "The wedding, our wedding. By tradition, the father walks the bride down the aisle." "Yes, that's right. But if I don't follow that tradition, will it have a major impact on the royal family and you, Your Highness?" "Yes." Seeing her expression, he thought to himself, "What is it that she wants to say, hesitating like this?" Then he spoke up. "So you mean, Miss Hardy, that you don't want to follow the tradition of walking down the aisle?" "Yes, I want him to be the one to do it. But he has already passed away. If I'm not mistaken, Walter Hardy is still alive and quite well, you know. I don't want to hold the hand of the man who abandoned me as I start a new life. Is that so? If it would be considered disrespectful and ruin the ceremony, I won't be stubborn. I can bear it and do what's expected, but if there's another way, I want to hold your hand, Your Highness. Will you walk me down the aisle?" The sky outside was turning into a sunset with clouds melting in the brilliant orange glow. Time passed quietly in the room. Anna was with her grandmother, her worried voice breaking the silence. "The wedding is tomorrow, Grandma. I still can't believe it." "Are you worried?" Anna was indeed anxious, her mind filled with chaotic thoughts. In fact, from the very beginning, from the unbelievable day he proposed until this very moment, every day I've been scared of everything. Since the wedding talks began, I've been living in a haze of uncertainty and fear. Breaking from her thoughts, Anna quietly asked her grandmother, "Why did he propose to me?" Her grandmother replied softly, looking at her with gentle eyes, "Because he loves you, of course. Unlike what the world says, he has an eye for a hidden gem." Hearing this, Anna said nothing, silently denying it in her heart. "That's not it, Grandma. He doesn't love me." Her grandmother's voice continued as she gently cupped her cheek. "Anna, to be honest, I was very worried that your life might be like Annette's, with a cheating man, a kiss from Lyra, and who would even ignore his own family." She shivered with goosebumps. "He was so much like Walter Hardy. Walter Hardy, I was so worried. I didn't know what to do about a man like that stealing your heart, but in the end he came rushing to you. Now I'm not worried anymore. Prince John is not like the rumors say. You have nothing to worry about, my dear. You will do great. And you must live happily for Annette's part too." Those words were like a flame that warmed Anna's heart. Tears welled up and fell from the corners of her eyes. An earnest call echoed in her mind. "Mother." Then Anna whispered in reply, "Yes, Grandma, I will." A new day dawned with a clear blue sky. A large, imposing mansion stood under it, and a voice rang out cursing someone for being insolent. How dare he treat his father-in-law like that? A woman's voice cut in, placating him. "Just put up with it, dear. Only for today." Arian, dressed in a formal black suit, gritted his teeth and looked at her with an angry face. 2 nights ago, Prince John had made a surprise visit. John, in formal attire, had announced calmly, "Miss Hardy will walk down the aisle holding my hand." And it was an announcement, not a command. Despite being respectful as per royal protocol, he showed no reaction whatsoever. Upon hearing this, Arian immediately panicked and tried to explain, "But Your Highness, your father-in-law is still alive and well. If you don't follow tradition, people will surely mock you." John just gave a slight smile and replied nonchalantly, "If that's the case, we can just create a reason, right?" The answer made his knees buckle in shock. Arian's face contorted in anger. He wondered, could Anna have already told the prince everything? Snapping out of his thoughts, he asked, "Why are you so insistent on this? It is a father's duty to raise his child." "It's too much for you to interfere in this matter, Your Highness." A soft but firm voice replied, "She is my wife." On the wedding day, her grandmother, in a simple but solemn dress, stood by the window. Gently pulling back the curtain to let in the light, her soft voice said, "Anna, it's time to become a happy bride." After she spoke, a white gown embellished with small, intricate details appeared at the doorway. Anna stood there, her figure elegant in the wedding dress, a long veil carefully fastened to her hair. Even from behind she looked beautiful, and the guests were all dressed in their formal best. Everyone's faces were filled with anticipation as whispers spread, "Here she comes! Here she comes!" They escorted her as if she were a princess. She is the wife of the kingdom's first prince, after all, and they have to follow royal traditions. But it's not Princess Gladys, it's Anna Walter Hardy. Their statuses are truly different, a world apart. A grand church, predominantly white with an intricate classic and solemn design, came into view from the horse-drawn carriage. Anna gently stepped down in her wedding dress, her makeup done perfectly. John in his royal uniform looked truly majestic. Anna and John walked in hand, both looking as stunningly beautiful as a painting. The great doors closed behind them and worried thoughts flooded Anna's mind. What should I do? The doors are about to open. I'm so nervous I don't feel confident. Can I do this? Will I be happy? Should I just turn back now? Suddenly a voice called out, "Anna, breathe." Hearing him, Anna looked up in surprise. John smiled gently and said, "Calm down, Anna. Just breathe. Okay." Anna let out a small gasp, then took a deep breath to calm herself. Their hands tightened their grip. Thank you, Your Highness, for granting my selfish request. I will do my very best. I'll try to become a good wife. At that very moment, the doors swung open. John, holding Anna's hand, stepped inside. The entire scene was dazzling. Inside, the two stood opposite each other for the ceremony with the priest officiating. John glanced over at her, wondering, why does she have to be so serious about this? The sky was clear and fresh. Below, the church was majestic yet filled with happiness. Cherry blossom petals danced in the breeze. John's family watched on with dignity. A round of applause broke out. John reached up to touch her cheek. John smiled faintly, looking at her with gentle eyes. In that moment, Anna and John shared a kiss, creating a beautifully romantic scene. Anna was a little shy, her gaze fixed on the tall figure of John in his royal uniform while she stood in her pure white wedding gown. At the grand and stately mansion, crowds of aristocrats gathered on the grounds for the reception. In one of the rooms, Lisa's voice rang out, "Absolutely not." In front of her was a large bathtub with Anna inside. Anna's face was beet red because of all the maids. Embarrassed, she cried out, "I can bathe by myself. You may not." "Your Highness," Lisa soothed Anna from behind. "It's okay." "Your Highness, Lisa. Our princess is the most beautiful, just gorgeous. Stop it, Lisa." After the bath, one of them with a slightly solemn air offered a wish. "We wish you a smooth night." Princess Anna sat on the bed, looking slightly bewildered. She thought to herself, marriage and the wedding night. I have a general idea of what that means. But that doesn't feel like it has anything to do with me and the prince. I have to admit, everything is so big. Everything is so large, beautiful, and luxurious, it's impossible to guess its value. Anna's thoughts continued to drift. Thanks to the prince, the Hardy mansion now belongs entirely to me. The Hardy family was facing bankruptcy, so they say I'm a shameless princess. Marrying into his family all by myself is certainly something people would scorn. She recalled nervously asking him, "Your Highness, people don't seem very enthusiastic." John had replied softly, "It's all just noise if you don't listen too closely." The prince laughed it off, seemingly unconcerned. He was shining so brightly under the sun that I forgot I was a princess and just stared at him, completely mesmerized. In that moment, his golden hair looked so soft. I was too embarrassed to face him. Snapping out of her reverie, Anna let out a big yawn, sighing to herself. But the prince is so late. The party must have ended by now. He must be catching up with friends he has not seen in a long time. Finally, Anna lay down on the bed. Lisa's nagging voice echoed in her head. "How can you just go to sleep on your first night? This will not do, you must get up, I cannot stand it." Anna whispered softly, "I am sorry, Mrs. Lisa. I am just resting on the edge of the bed for a moment." Right after, on the large bed. The small Anna lay in a corner of the bed, falling asleep in the silent night. Inside the mansion, the dim candlelight revealed the tall figure of John. He walked down the grand staircase, his shadow stretching across the floor in the soft light as he approached where Anna was sleeping. Anna's face was peaceful in her sleep. He looked at her, smiled gently, and his deep, warm voice called out Anna. Right after, a large hand rested on her head. As if sensing it, Anna woke up instantly, her entire face blushing. Immediately, Anna turned in alarm to where John was sitting as his hand gently lifted her face. His eyes looked at her gently. "Hello, my good wife. Hello, Your Highness. Are you tired?" Anna sat up flustered. "Yes, I'm sorry," but John stopped her. "Stay still. That is a nice nightgown. You wear these ruffled bows to your own liking. Thank you, Mrs. Lisa, for not even arranging my sleepwear for me." His enchanting voice called out, and Anna immediately clasped her hands together anxiously. She replied softly, "Yes, Your Highness." At that moment, John's hand pulled the pink ribbon. Anna's long hair came undone as his deep, warm voice said, "Call me by my name in bed, not Your Highness." "Say it," he said while untying the bow on her robe. Startled Anna sat up in a panic, her face bright red. John remained calm and said quickly, "You have to be more enthusiastic." Anna trembled, shutting her eyes tightly. Just then, John grasped both of her hands. "You confidently promised to be a good wife, didn't you? Was that an empty promise?" It was not an empty promise, really. Hearing that, John seemed satisfied and smirked. "How fortunate, I despise being lied to." Anna lay stiffly as John removed her clothes, her trembling hands clutching the bedsheets. The prince finds taking off these cumbersome pajamas to be quite fun, like unwrapping a meticulously wrapped gift. You will be the gift that appears before my eyes. How interesting, let's not rest. But I am tired. I will do my best. Then John leaned down on his hands and uttered, "Beautiful." Hearing this, Anna's face flushed hot with surprise. In that moment, John leaned down to kiss her, their bodies pressing together in a sudden kiss. John's hand moved down to Anna's smooth white thigh. Startled, Anna immediately cried out. Her face was now flushed, and tears started to well up in her eyes. Her voice was pleading, "John, please, I cannot take it." Anna broke into sobs, causing John to freeze. His face flashed with annoyance, his brows furrowing. Anna's fearful voice rang out, "I am sorry, I am sorry." For John, a voice from his memory echoed in his mind. What kind of trick is this now? Back then, Gladys had also cried and whispered, "I am sorry." Damn this memory. Why did it have to be that woman? Back in the present, Anna explained nervously, "I am sorry. I am a little scared. I am not used to this, and it feels very strange. I will still keep my promise. I am not deceiving you. I will keep my promise." Hearing this, John did not reply, running a hand through his hair in annoyance. "Promises, promises. I am not some loan shark. Why do you always act like you owe someone a debt even when you were paying for the trophy? This woman keeps insisting she is a reliable debtor. How annoying. The room fell into silence. Anna wiped her tears and looked at him. John's thoughts echoed again. Actually, everything is better than expected. Smooth legs, a full chest, a round face. So her body is soft, but the problem is this woman. She knows nothing. I am not in the mood to coax a whining, awkward woman. Yes, John just chuckled softly. His final thought echoed, you have reached my limit. Right after he asked in a low voice, how is your alcohol tolerance? Caught off guard, Anna replied, flustered, well, I do not really know. What is the most you have ever drunk? 1 glass of wine. If I finish a whole glass, my body gets hot and my head feels dizzy. Immediately, John offered her a full glass of wine. Drink it, and try to bear it for a bit. Anna took the glass in her hands. Her whole body trembled slightly, her face flushed. A memory drifted into her mind. Live a happy life, Grandma. I know he does not love me. Anna squeezed her eyes shut, taking gulps of the wine. I do not know what his reason is. Whether it is pity or a sense of duty, I accepted his proposal. I will do the best I can. Even if it is not love, I will try for his sake so we can live happily together for a very long time. For a very long time. As the thought ended, Anna was already drunk, her face completely blank. Just then, John also drank the rest of the wine in his glass. The wine glass was placed back on the table. The wine in the glass was gone, only ice remained. Anna said softly, thank you. John did not say anything, just smirked. Right after that, they kissed. John held Anna as her robe slipped from her shoulders. Anna lay on the bed, her eyes squeezed shut. Seeing this, he said softly, Anna, open your eyes. Anna asked confusedly, do I have to? Yes, you have to look at me. Otherwise, it means you are thinking of another man. Hearing that, Anna immediately said, I am not. How could you say something so insulting? Just then, before she could finish her sentence, John silenced her with a kiss. His hand gently caressed her rosy lips. He breathed softly, his gaze fixed on her. Anna lay there with tears still streaming from her eyes. A moment later, Anna cried out in pain, her face flushed. John, I cannot, it is too big. Hearing this, John paused for a moment and then said, thank you, wife. Then he smirked, giving her a compliment that was quite an honor. Right after that, John and Anna kissed. They both sank into bliss along with his reassuring words. It is okay, Anna, you will be fine. John's face tensed, slightly beads of sweat forming on his brow. His thoughts surfaced. From the moment I opened the door to this room, I thought this was just about fulfilling our marital duties. It is not that I was not interested in the wife who shyly glanced at me all day, but damn it, I could not control myself. Sounds mingled with sobs. The maddening sound of breathing bloomed into a crimson flower, a torrent of pleasure. Everything felt numb. I was taking it all in with my entire body. John leaned down gently, stroking her hair. Are you okay? Anna simply nodded in reply. John smiled, looking at her. Anna whispered, it is over, but John said nothing and simply kissed her. His gentle gaze rested on her as he replied softly, Then he suddenly gave her cheek a light bite. John sat up, taking Anna by surprise. Her eyes widened in surprise. I was tricking you. Outside, the sky stretched out in hues of pink and purple, the grand mansion hazy under the streetlights. The entire space seemed to be asleep. Yes, a voice echoed through the palace, Your Highness, the Crown Princess. Your Highness, the Crown Princess, it is Mrs. Peace. Hearing this, Anna quickly wrapped the blanket around herself and sat bolt upright. She recalled the events of the previous day, then quickly replied, Yes, I am awake. Her cheeks flushed bright red. Yes, I am outside, Fit said calmly. Very well, then I am coming in. As the words left her mouth, Anna immediately shouted, No, I cannot move my legs. But Fit continued to inquire. Your Highness, the Crown Princess, are you all right? What is the matter? However, Anna was in a great hurry and panic. No, nothing is wrong. It is just that it is already noon. What about outside? Fit stood pensively waiting. Her wrinkled face filled with concern, she called out, I am coming in, Your Highness, the Crown Princess. Just then in the bathroom, a white towel was caught between the doors. Seeing this, Lisa and Fit widened their eyes, staring in that direction. The bed was empty except for a white towel. The nightgown was tossed on the floor, 2 empty wine glasses beside a bottle of foreign liquor. Fit quickly turned and gave an order. All of you get out and wait. Lisa stood nearby looking worried. My lady, after a moment, Lisa moved closer to the door and called out, Your Highness, the Crown Princess, the servants have all gone outside. After hearing this, Anna replied, All right, I am sorry, Mrs. Peace. As soon as she finished, Fit quickly asked, It is all right, are you well? Anna replied calmly. Yes, I am fine. It is just that this morning the prince seemed no different than usual. He freshened up, ate breakfast, and even when he left, he did not mention the princess at all. It was as if he had forgotten the existence of the wife he married yesterday. Anna pondered this in her room. Although I dare not speculate about their affairs, I know this is not a normal morning for a new bride. Fit, she leaned in and advised, If your highness is uncomfortable having servants assist with your bath, I will not send them in. I will tidy up the bedroom and then leave. When you are ready, please ring the bell. After hearing her reply, Thank you, madam, Fit immediately added. You're welcome, I'm just doing my job. But your highness, the crown princess, that bedsheet, could you give it to me? A moment later, Anna slowly opened the door. Her face was full of fatigue as she looked at the white bedsheet. Lisa looked embarrassed. Here, prince. Thank you, your highness, the crown princess. The door was closed once again. He chose a bride no one expected, so I wondered if it was really love. But if he loved her, there's no way he'd let her face such a terrible morning. Anna, sitting on the bed, spoke up. I'm truly grateful, Madam Peace. Hearing this, Fit immediately replied, It's nothing, I will go get some medicine. Anna, you should take it and get some rest. But you were supposed to give me a tour today. We can postpone it for a day. The prince also requested it. Hearing this made Anna a bit bewildered. She looked down and thought shyly. The prince is lying. Thank you, madam, then I will rest well today. I'll rely on you tomorrow. After she said, yes, I understand, I'll be on my way now, and the door closed. Now, only Anna was inside. This room is so big it doesn't feel like it's mine. This room and even the name Nestor don't suit me at all. But what suits me even less is my husband John, who is both passionate and ruthless, warm and cold. It's a miracle how all those aspects exist in one person without feeling fake. Anna lay on the bed thinking, the more I face him, the less I understand him. I miss Grandma so much. Everyone has their own place. Every time I invited her to live with me in Squaring, she always gave the same answer. I know you're always careful. I was afraid of pressuring her, so I couldn't insist anymore. Anyway, things will get better eventually, right? I was afraid of pressuring her, so I couldn't insist anymore. In any case, this is how things are now. Her Highness, the Crown Princess, is sleeping in her room. She seemed unwell, so I told her to get more rest. As she finished, he grabbed his cloak and replied, I know. Then Fit spoke up again, the wedding is over. Would you like to rest for a few days? And after hearing her, he replied, I will rest during the honeymoon. She immediately added, the honeymoon isn't for another half month. Instantly, Prince John looked back. His tone was extremely cold. You are taking the Crown Princess's side now. His tone was extremely cold. You are now taking the Crown Princess's side. Scene change. John's feet in black shoes ascended the stairs. There's no way Madame Peace doesn't know that the honeymoon isn't just a honeymoon. Right as if I'm saying these things for no reason. Even though you know full well why I'm busy meeting those old geezers in Parliament. For a crown princess who's only been here a day, you've already forgotten about me. Isn't that a little sad? Hearing this, Fit placed her hands before her and said, I apologize, Prince, but John didn't seem to want to listen. Between us, there's no need for such words, Madame Peace. As you said, there's still half a month. Then go educate her. This made Lisa very confused. What? John was holding scissors and letters. I can't have an ignorant adult in the house. Then go educate her. This made Lisa very confused. What? John was holding scissors and letters. I can't have an ignorant adult in the house. Someone has to teach my wife about bedroom matters, right? After hearing this, Fit seemed to understand his meaning. Yes, I will contact Huang 7 to find a suitable person. But Prince John was unusually calm, reading from a paper as he spoke. Tell them to come at once. Fit broke into a cold sweat. Why on earth did he choose her as his wife? Although I know it's not my place to ask. But still, I raised him, so I deserve to know the real story. John lowered his head, narrowed his eyes, and spoke softly. Because Anna is very beautiful. These words startled Fit while John sat in his chair and glanced at her nonchalantly. It's not like that. Meanwhile, on Anna's side, Lisa stood beside Anna, smiling happily as they sent thank you letters to the wedding guests. It's finally done, she replied as she stamped the final step, a red ink seal firmly pressed on the card. Seeing this, Lisa clapped excitedly. How cool. So cool. That's my crown princess. Hearing this, Anna got a little shy. Really? I only stamped it. She held the wedding card with both hands, admiring it, and said thank you. Without you, I couldn't have endured everything until today. Suddenly, Lisa clasped her hands together. That's right, Crown Princess, your things are here. Anna was very confused. Things? What things? Lisa quickly replied. The things you're taking on your honeymoon. You have no idea how beautiful they are. Come and see. A jewelry box was opened, revealing a diamond ring. An exquisitely crafted mirror and countless necklaces were laid out before her eyes. Lisa said, look at this. So beautiful. Hurry and try it on. It's perfect. How can it suit you so well? Anna put on an intricate dress and a wide-brimmed sun hat. Lisa became even more excited. No matter which country you visit, our crown princess will be the most beautiful. I'll definitely help you, just you wait. Crown princess, you will be the most beautiful. I will definitely help you, just you wait. Noticing this, Lisa's eyes widened and she asked, aren't you happy? Anna broke a sweat and replied, no, it's not that. I just feel a bit burdened knowing all these things came from the prince. Seeing this, Lisa's eyes widened and she asked, aren't you happy? No, Anna replied, immediately sweating. I'm always receiving too much from him. At this, Lisa held another hat and said dejectedly, I suppose so. The Barden estate, the Hardy family debt. Everything I do for him is slowly piling up as debt. Did he ever care about her feelings before? But Anna just gently placed the hat on the table and said reassuringly, I'm fine. You must be confused. Why did this have to happen? As the crown princess, you must go on a honeymoon to your home country. Suddenly a voice from outside called Crown Princess. Hearing it, Anna replied, come in. I'm fine. Lisa, I heard La is a beautiful country. I'm really looking forward to it. Yes, I'm coming. Meanwhile, in John's study, a man in black holding a paper spoke up. Fit entered, bowed, and announced, the teacher from Hong 7 I mentioned this morning has arrived. As she finished, Anna replied calmly, yes, I'm coming. Meanwhile, in John's study, a man in black holding a paper spoke up. You chose La for the honeymoon, a wise choice for both political reasons and for our bank. Right now, no place is more important, and with the large interest on His Majesty's personal savings, the pressure from new banks is significant. It's been quite frightening lately, but this situation will draw a lot of attention. Meanwhile, John calmly sipped his tea. Then the merger with the bank in law should proceed. After today's meeting, I'm as busy as I was when I was crown prince. I just want to leave soon. At least I can get some rest on the ship. I wonder if the crown princess has finished her preparations. As he was preparing for the trip, suddenly a voice called from behind. Prince. It was Anna standing outside. Could I speak with you for a moment? Seeing her, John looked at her thoughtfully. She seemed to be in a rush. John nodded slightly, his hand on the back of his neck. When they were alone in the room, he said, go ahead, Anna. Instantly, Anna clasped her hands and spoke shyly. I heard you summon someone to teach me. Hearing this, John sighed. That made Anna blush furiously, because I'm still so awkward and don't know anything. You haven't come, John asked back. You're saying I haven't come? So Anna lowered her head, sweating all over. You haven't come to my room once since that day. John pressed his temples, feeling a headache. I am very busy. Knowing that, Anna, you should be fulfilling your duties, not standing here. Hearing that Anna tried to continue, there must be a reason. I know I am lacking in many ways, especially in that area. I truly feel at fault. Madame Beg came to teach the royal women about bedroom matters. She is a dignified and friendly person, and she patiently explained why this had to be learned, even though I already knew. When she began to explain the details, I became flustered and ashamed. I couldn't take it anymore and left in the middle of the lesson. I will learn. I won't shirk my responsibility, but I'm very shy around others. If it must be done, then I will learn from you. This surprised John a little. What? But Anna persisted. Please, you teach me. You are my husband, after all. At this, John touched his forehead and tilted his head. Anna, are you sure? Maybe she has no idea what she's saying. In contrast to his teasing, Anna blushed. Yes, I'm sure. Can I ask you for that? Hearing this, John just smirked, gave it a try, opened a boring book, and rambled on about some obscure topic. She ran out after just that. What's wrong? Your Highness, please teach me. What am I to do with this provocation that's both adorable and infuriating? Outside, a sudden knock was heard at the door. Your Highness, I know you're in there. As the voice faded, John slowly replied, Come in. Then, Fit entered and immediately scolded. So you were here. Your Highness, this is not acceptable. Please return to your post. But Anna just clasped her hands, pleading. No, I don't like it. No way, I don't want to. However, John immediately spoke up. Calm down, Mrs. Beast. The princess is tired. Instantly, Anna's eyes grew round and sparkled, while Fit, sweating with disappointment, left the classroom. This is disrespectful to Mrs. Peg. Your Highness, please go apologize to her directly and end the lesson properly. Yes, John agreed as well. That's how it should be, of course. This stunned Anna, and she unconsciously leaned to one side. After you two are done talking, relay a message to Mrs. Peg for me. I will be having dinner with our guests. Despite the long journey here, I understand. Anna left. Theo Fit turned around and whispered her thanks to the woman. Meanwhile, John leaned back in his chair, watching that girl, Theo, then looked down and gave a faint smile. John thought of the girl with the long, flowing blonde hair. A dangerous deer indeed. This deer or that one. Different positions, but just as dangerous. Has she been caught up in some game, or was she careless and her weakness was exposed? Teasing the little deer who came and served herself up on a platter wouldn't be so bad, even if it's troublesome and infuriating. But it's also quite interesting. The time spent tied down on this ship should be fun. The tea set lay shattered on the floor, the magazine crumpled and wrinkled. Her long hair was a mess, and tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. With a face full of misery, she looked at her wedding photo. How do I stop loving this man? I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry. Such a naive love. I was so foolish, knowing this love was doomed from the start. Does that make it more worrying? First love is like a high fever, impossible to control, but you eventually have to accept reality. Becoming the princess consort, it was as if it was predestined. I never even dreamed that I was carrying his child. He knew his wife was pregnant, but never once held her. I'm sorry, John. If that's how it is, then sleep somewhere else. And just pretend it's my child, John said, along with a scornful laugh. Let's just continue living quietly like this. Happily accept the congratulations on your pregnancy, as usual. That means you should live like a smart princess consort. Do you understand, princess? And so, with Lyra, John never once visited the child but agreed to give him the royal family name. That was the secret deal between legend and law. The days, peaceful on the surface but filled with lies within, continued on. But John's low voice, as if his anger had cooled, was instead terrifying to others. Married for less than a year, I returned to my country with John Nestor's child. I had hoped to live a happy life with Zero. I met Zero again in law. He was still the same as before. He still loved me and became a good father. He was such a good man. He brought warmth, comfort, and was a solace to Anna. The problem was me. The days were flooded with guilt. I couldn't stop thinking about John. On the day Zero left this world, a season had already passed. While I was crying and thinking of my ex-husband, he committed suicide. It wasn't long after that. Lyra, John Nestor's son, also left me due to a high fever. After all these misfortunes passed, I don't know when it happened, but I realized my heart belonged to John. Princess, please don't do this. Are you planning on giving up your life? Why should I go back? Get ready. We're leaving this week. But, princess, if we do that, you'll be on the same ship as the royal couple. I know. But I don't care about those two. Everything is meaningless now. The yacht was docked, waiting for passengers to board. Lisa walked past two whispering girls. Hey, have you heard the gossip? The prince and his new wife are on their honeymoon. They're going to Princess Gladys's country. I even heard that the princess herself is boarding the ship with them today. Oh my gosh. So that's why so many people are here. I'm dying to see what the new princess looks like. Meanwhile, Anna, holding John's arm, slowly boarded the ship. She waved to the crowd with her other hand. Following behind them was the maid, Lisa, walking slowly. Thinking about it, that princess is really unreasonable. Why did she have to come along, boarding the same ship on the same day? I really don't get it. I found out after half a month at the palace. Everyone in legend knows. Everyone in the Stellarin Palace sides with the princess, but some people see it as a humiliation. The daughter of a fallen noble, she has lost her status as a lady. But the problem is, the prince hasn't even glanced at the princess once. Elegant and handsome, we can't find any fault with how perfectly he's holding his wife's arm. But instead, I see a coldness, like he's holding a formal, inanimate cane. The princess's rival was once like that cane to him. Suddenly, a woman in a long dress appeared. She wore a dark blue hat over her curly hair. She immediately spoke up. "Long time no see, John. It's a bit late, but congratulations on your marriage." A clever woman, still trying to cling to her place in legend, even insisting on boarding this very ship. John looked at the person beside him and suddenly called out, "Anna," making her freeze. Then, they both stood at the ship's rail, waving goodbye. The women below, so proper, look up at John, then lower their gaze, appearing demure, gentle, and unproblematic. "What I've seen from you these past few days has been, at times, a bit of unnecessary fuss. I see you're a quick learner, an intelligent person. And when the entire city was buzzing about Gladys, you never once brought it up to me. I am pleased by this woman's beauty and harmlessness." On the vast ship, drifting at sea, Anna wore a long white dress. Absolutely amazed by what she saw, she couldn't believe her eyes. How could a ship have something like this? There's even a fireplace over there. Meanwhile, a servant approached John, bowed, and asked, "When would you like to have your meal, Your Highness?" He replied immediately, "I won't be eating. Just do as the princess wishes." Hearing this, Anna was very surprised. "You're not going to eat?" John slowly undid his cufflinks and replied, "I'm going to rest for a while, Anna. I'm not in the mood for anything right now." His words made Anna, holding her large, wide-brimmed hat, tremble slightly. "Yes, I know. Until the very night before we left, the prince had to entertain guests at the palace, so sternly and intensely. He must be exhausted. Even so, I still want to eat with him. I know I'm being childish." "Then, could we have tea here together?" John, lying on the bed with his eyes closed, replied, "Let's just have dinner together tonight then." Anna immediately looked at the clock. Dinner was still a long time away. At that moment, John spoke again in a low voice. "Go on, just do whatever you want." Anna was at a loss for words. She left the room, closing the door behind her. Outside, the maid cheerfully asked, "Your Highness, where would you like to start exploring?" "The restaurant here is beautiful, or perhaps we could have some tea." Hearing this, Anna called out, "Lisa, let's go have tea, Lisa, at that splendid restaurant." "Us?" Lisa's eyes widened in surprise. "But Your Highness, this is your honeymoon." "Yes, Your Highness, please, just tell me whatever you need." Anna looked at her and replied affectionately, "Thank you, Lisa. I plan to have dinner with the prince later." Then Lisa quickly urged her on. "Let's go, Your Highness." The two sat for a drink at a table in the dining hall, and then they went up the stairs together. Later, Anna said calmly, "It's all right, I'll have dinner by myself." Then, the door clicked shut. He left me alone in the room. "I'm fine. I had a wonderful time with Lisa today, didn't I? There's no reason to be sad. I don't want to make anyone worry. It's been many days since the wedding, sitting alone at the dinner table. I guess the prince has been very busy for the past 15 days. But now that the honeymoon has started, nothing has changed. Can I ever be happy?" The image of the woman with long, curly blonde hair appeared. "Long time no see, John." And then the scene. John, with his shirt carelessly open, full of passion, calling her name. It's true, those two were once husband and wife. For her, John was the name for all her firsts. For me, with John, I will forever be second. The restlessness and anticipation. To him, all of this is nothing more than a tedious repetition of the past. How long can the second wife last? I know exactly what they're whispering about me in the palace. Even if I don't want to listen, I still hear it. Don't be swayed by thoughtless words. Be a good wife and try your best. Every time, I'm determined. But in reality, I'm not sure how the second wife can find happiness. No, I can't cry, it's not true. I need to eat now, an empty stomach will make me weak. And if I'm weak, I'll start overthinking useless things. And the more I think about them, the more real they'll become. Suddenly, John approached her. "Hello, Anna." His expression seemed a bit brighter, which made Anna flustered. "Your Highness." But John's expression remained unchanged. "If you're embarrassed, I'll pretend I didn't see anything. He's quite bold." Anna covered her mouth with her hand. "If you had arrived on time, Your Highness, you wouldn't have seen that." John sat across from her and asked intently, "You seem uncomfortable." Anna mumbled something softly. Then, John reminded her, "You should have woken me up earlier." His words surprised Anna. "Is that so? What's the matter?" John immediately laughed. "It's not like you'd be charged with treason for disturbing a prince's sleep. Anyway, it seems this is your first time on a boat." After hearing her answer, "No, it's my second time," he found it incredibly hard to believe. Anna immediately went back to cutting the meat on her plate. "Yes, you were with me then. The night of the boat race festival. We sat together on a small wooden boat watching the fireworks." John sipped his glass of red wine, thinking, she considers that short ride as being on a boat. She has an unimaginable sense of humor. Now that I think about it, Gladys was never like this on our honeymoon. Gladys would have probably cried or sulked for a long time, while I did my own thing until it was time to eat. Gladys would have probably cried or sulked for a long time, while I did my own thing until it was time to eat. When John saw the male servant approaching to pour wine for Anna, he quickly stopped him. "That's enough, don't fill the glass." Seeing this, Anna protested. "I can drink a whole glass." John replied, "I know, but the crown princess needs to learn." Anna's eyes widened, her face bewildered. "Learn? Will you teach me?" she asked shyly, her cheeks flushing, while John quietly half-closed his eyes and smirked. Now, no matter if this woman cries or does whatever in bed, she's nothing like Gladys. "Honey, what's with that look? Will you teach me? The way you're begging me." His words made Anna cover her face in shock. "Honey, what's with that look? Will you teach me? You're begging me like that." His words made Anna cover her face in shock. "I'm sweating bullets. Good heavens, what do I do now? If I'd known this would happen, I would have eaten much more slowly." "We're done eating." Anna startled and lowered her gaze. John was holding his wine glass, ready to continue. Then, Anna suddenly blurted out, "I have to take a bath." But it seemed there was no escaping. "We'll do it first. You can bathe later. It has to be done anyway." Hearing this, Anna was scared, stiff. "No, I have to bathe right now." However, John simply ignored her and calmly stood up. Seeing this, Anna grew even more desperate. "I need some time." John's eyes narrowed instantly as he saw Anna's eyes welling up with tears while she stammered. I just finished eating, but if we do it now, what if I throw up?" "I just finished eating, but if we do it now, what if I throw up?" With that, he sat back down, nodding as he poured some wine. "That's a shameless excuse, but I'll let it slide because you're adorable." With that, he sat back down, nodding as he poured some wine. "That shameless excuse, I'll let it slide because you're adorable." A colorful night, with a feast of innocence laid out. This isn't a bad way to start the honeymoon evening. Her face was blushing beet red, while John's eyes were filled with affection. He lifted her chin with his hand and asked, "How far did you get in your lessons?" Scared, Anna clenched her teeth and replied, "I don't know, I don't remember." "How far did you get in your lessons?" Scared, Anna clenched her teeth and replied, "I don't know, I don't remember." Hearing that, John lowered his voice. "Is that so? Then we'll have to start from the very beginning." With that, he moved deliberately. He pushed her down onto the bed, his large thumb gently brushing across her soft lips. John commanded in a tantalizing voice, "If you want to be kissed, Anna, you must part your lips." So, she reluctantly complied. Tears streamed from her eyes as John leaned down to kiss her lips, though she seemed completely unwilling. Her tears kept falling as the tie on her dress was slowly undone. John grumbled as he worked on it. "I hate these things, they're so unnecessarily complicated." Anna, blushing furiously, whispered, "I'll wear a different nightgown next time." But John immediately mouthed, "No, don't wear anything at all. It'll be taken off anyway." He then placed the petite Anna on his lap, holding her tightly and kissing her shoulder. John whispered in her ear, "Don't just stay still." She leaned her head against him, tears streaming down her face, and responded with movement. Hearing that, John ordered, "Start with your tongue." His shirt dropped, revealing his broad shoulders. Anna slowly raised her hand. John's eyes were deep in thought. Lying in bed under the covers, Anna said, "You can sleep here. I'll be good. I don't toss and turn." But John seemed concerned. "Get some rest." He gently touched Anna's cheek as her eyes were closed, then he lowered his voice. "Let's have lunch at the restaurant. You can go with the maids." He then gave her a gentle kiss. He looked at Anna affectionately. "Sleep well, Anna." The door closed, leaving Anna lying dazed on the bed, covered in hickeys. She tried to close her eyes as the room fell silent. Elsewhere, Baven sat listlessly, staring at the letter in his hand. He stared at it intently. Baven thought to himself, "Anna Nestor." Thinking of her, he gave a bitter smile. Baven recalled that with Anna's wedding just days away, Baroness Hardy had invited him to have dinner with her. It was a chance to see Anna, and he felt it would be the last time they could meet as friends. That was the only reason. "I can face you." He remembered Anna's words, "I'll write to you." Baven recalled saying his goodbyes first. A girl with such a beautiful smile. Baven found it hard to accept. He had said, "No, our friendship ends here. Your Highness, the Crown Princess. It has to be this way for you to be happy." Anna tensed up, whispering, "Baven." He held out his hand and said, "Goodbye." Anna watched him turn his back and walk away. Choked with emotion and with sad eyes, Anna shook his hand in return. "Goodbye, Baven." They both gave a faint smile. Anna said, "I understand what you're saying, Baven, but I wanted to give you a final farewell. So, thank you. Thank you for being my rock in this strange city. I'll never forget it, and I'm sorry. I just want to express my deepest gratitude. I haven't been able to repay you for anything, and I can't even say a proper goodbye. I will cherish these beautiful memories forever. So, Baven, you must live a happy life too. Goodbye to Baven, the future lord and the greatest artist in the land of legend." Baven was lost in thought, remembering, if it hadn't rained so heavily that day, if only he had made it to their meeting place. Before the prince found Anna wandering alone in front of the station. If only. If only. At this thought, Baven felt awful. He laughed bitterly. "What nonsense am I thinking?" Holding the card, he stared into the distance. No matter the reasons, there's no going back to the past. Anna is the crown princess now. And now, she's on her honeymoon. The only thing I can do is pray for her happiness. Baven whispered, "Whatever it takes, Anna, please be happy." The ship began to move, and on board, Anna looked around. Seeing the empty room, Anna guessed he was in the bath. "Will he kick me out for coming in without permission?" "No!" Anna plopped onto a chair, her heart pounding nervously. She thought to herself, "But John didn't say I couldn't." Just this once. It's fine to just barge in. The door opened, and John appeared, wearing a bathrobe. Someone called out, "John!" Anna was thrilled, her mind racing with his name. John asked, "What is it?" Anna sat beside him and chirped, "Have you ever seen dolphins before?" John quietly replied, Anna asked again, "So, do you like dolphins?" "No," Anna was surprised. "But John, I heard that seeing dolphins brings good luck. I think we're about to pass through a sea where dolphins often appear. Do you want to go see them?" "No." John glanced at her, smiling at her dejected and disappointed look. He thought to himself, "I'm curious. I wonder where she heard that from." He remembered Gladys wanting to see whales and telling him the same story. He recalled her words, "I heard that seeing dolphins brings good luck and great blessings to a marriage." An image of them holding hands came to his mind. "If you're curious, you can go. By yourself." Hearing his answer, Anna's expression fell again. Clutching the items in her hands, Anna stammered, "Then I'm not going anymore." Her voice was full of disappointment. John paused. John pulled her onto his lap. Startled, Anna cried out, "Ah!" Her gloves were pulled off and her hat fell. The sound of ripping fabric echoed. Anna panicked. "Sir, what are you doing?" John looked at her seductively and whispered, "My husbandly duties." Hearing that, Anna's face turned as red as a tomato. She realized his desire was both powerful and amazing. Their hot bodies intertwined, their breaths ragged. Anna realized he didn't love her, yet he kissed her so casually, a shameful touch. All he has to do is want it. Why is my heart bleeding? Yet I believe this is the truth. John began to kiss her. Anna thought to herself, a new bride ignored by her groom, but this marriage had now set its course, like a ship heading out to sea. Creaking sounds filled the room. Anna cried out, "Ah, John!" The curtains. She helplessly reached for the curtains. John held her tightly, ignoring her cries. He said casually, "Leave it." Resting his head on her shoulder, he smiled. "So you still have the energy to worry about things like that?" He relentlessly pulled her down, pressing his lips against hers. Anna only had time to cry out, "Ah," before she was lost in his deep, urgent kiss. John began to kiss other parts of her body, the sound of his kisses echoing in her ear as he whispered, "You're so seductive." As if hearing her thoughts, he paused, the corner of his mouth curling into a wicked smile, warm, soft, and irresistibly beautiful. Anna scolded, "You're insane!" A sudden pain shot through her. They looked at each other as her temperature soared. "Oh my God, you're crazy!" John gently held her, even as she continued to curse him. Amidst ragged breaths, he whispered, "Ha ha ha, actually, your voice captivates me too." Shyly, Anna covered her face, her eyes looking dazed. Seeing her expression at that moment, a dark thought crossed John's mind. How provocative it would be if she moaned in that voice. John reminded himself, I should probably be a bit more gentle to make this enjoyable. Later, Anna woke up in a daze, her face flushed as she blinked shyly. She let out a sigh. Phew. When Anna turned her head, she met John's eyes staring intently at her. He saw her bright and vibrant face. "John," she exclaimed. He greeted her. "Hello, Anna." Anna thought back to the previous night. I don't clearly remember how things ended with him. Even after I fell asleep, he didn't stop until he was satisfied. The image of their entangled bodies flashed in her mind. John whispered in her ear, "You asked me to teach you, so you have to be a good student, right?" Anna shyly replied, "John, I'm so embarrassed." She buried her head in his shoulder. John's voice rang out. "I like it a lot, Anna," he thought. "Whatever it is you're thinking." "I chose the wrong teacher," Anna grumbled to herself. "I should have just listened to Madame Perg." It's too late for regrets now, but looking out the window, Anna wondered. We must be out at sea already. I wonder if we can see dolphins. They finally left the room and it was already afternoon when Anna spoke. "Is it still a long way to go?" John looked up from his book, closed it, and tossed it aside. "Let's see," he said. A sound was heard. The journey from here would take about 3 days. His hand landed on her chest. Anna gripped the blanket, not daring to resist. John had no intention of stopping and continued to trace the sea route. Startled, Anna cried out. "Ah," he whispered. "Right now, we are about here." His hand slid, continuing to trace the path. John continued, "A little further and we'll dock, then we'll board another ship to a different country." Finally, Anna couldn't take it anymore and cried out, "You don't have to answer." She knew John was just teasing her. Wasn't the princess curious? Her hand tightened on his as Anna spoke defiantly. "But not like this. Aren't you curious too?" John said softly. "I happen to like this map." He said it without the slightest bit of shame. Anna was dumbfounded. "Oh, this is insane." A knock came from the door. "Knock, knock. Your Highness, the delegation sent the revised report." "I know it's late, but do you need to review it urgently?" John sat bolt upright. "Yes, come in." Anna jumped. Anna quickly pulled the blanket over her head, screaming internally. John casually took the documents from the servant as if nothing was happening. Anna was thoroughly mortified. "Oh no, the door closed." John placed the documents on the table. He asked, "How about a cup of tea?" Anna, not daring to show her face, muttered, "I hate that." John frowned. "Hate what?" Shyly, Anna lowered the blanket to show her face and stammered, "Having strangers come into the room like that." John sighed. "Is there anyone who doesn't know what we do in here?" Anna remained stubborn, but John insisted. "If you're not in the mood for tea, we can forget it." Afraid of being dismissed, Anna quickly sat up. "No, I'll have some. I just need a minute." She paused and shyly looked down. John understood and smiled. That's more like it, my obedient princess. A short while later, Anna emerged in a beautiful dress. John saw her and nodded in satisfaction. Tea was served. Anna sat beside John, who was still holding his work documents. A servant presented a stack of cards, saying, "These are letters for the princess. Replies must be sent today." Anna heard and felt a bit crestfallen. "Oh, yes, I'll look at them." She watched John as he worked. She thought to herself, "Sitting next to my husband, the brilliant prince, I also want to have the presence of a princess." Anna gloomily picked up the cards and sighed. "These are all from people I don't know." Then, she remembered something. Mrs. Peace advised me to accept help from Karen, the headmaid, but Karen. Elsewhere, Karen was heard saying, "It's best if this is done before a child is born. That way, the remarriage to Princess Gladys will go smoothly. My term as the second princess won't last more than half a year." Anna overheard her from a distance and thought, "She's saying that so loudly in the hall, right near my bedroom." I knew from the beginning she never intended to hide her feelings. Looking at the names on the cards, Anna had a realization. I remember some of these people are allied with Princess Gladys, but I don't know these four at all. I don't want to be a hindrance. But there was no other choice. Anna fiddled with her hair tie and spoke timidly. The sound of John turning a page filled the silence. John responded, "Yes?" Anna stammered, "Do you know the Hakim family?" John replied, "No." She pressed on, "The Levklin and Edmund families? What about the Forrester family? Do you know them?" "Yes." Anna excitedly held up a purple card and asked, "So it's all right for me to befriend that family?" A page turned with a rustle. John replied, "Yes." Anna smiled, thinking to herself that the Forrester matter was settled. Now all she had to do was write the reply. Then Anna began to write her replies. Just then, John finished signing his documents, and Karen bowed, took them, and left. Anna's face turned completely red. John finished his work, and Anna said softly, "Your handwriting is very beautiful." She watched him sip his golden wine. Anna couldn't help but compliment him. "Your hands are big and beautiful." He saw her innocent expression. John smiled faintly. "What is this idle chatter about?" He intended to tease her, John whispered. "The princess is also very beautiful, especially that ribbon." Anna was startled. "Ah, a compliment from you." She held the ribbon with delight and pride. "Thank you." Seeing her react like a child to his praise, John rested his chin on his hand and stared at her. "I was just kidding." The atmosphere grew sweet. The light shining on Anna seemed to enhance her beauty. John looked mesmerized, gazing at her intently. His continued silence made Anna wonder. Then John smirked. Seeing that, Anna froze, not daring to move. Anna laughed, but John's expression was unmoving. A small gasp caught in her throat. John smiled like a victor. "I own every part of this smiling woman." The party on the ship started, and a buzz went through the crowd. "Oh, look over there! My goodness, she actually came!" Anna stood out from the crowd. She was wearing an exquisitely coordinated outfit and jewelry. Those who disliked her started to sneer. She wasn't really invited. It was just a joke to tease the country bumpkin, taking a position she doesn't deserve. I never thought Prince John's second wife would attend a party for close relatives. The first wife, Lyra, was the one who. Even so, she does look the part of a lady. Looks like the prince spared no expense on his new wife. I wonder how long it will last. Anna stood amidst the crowd. Just then, she came face to face with Gladys. The moment she saw her, Anna recognized Princess Gladys. At that moment, someone who saw Gladys put on an innocent face. "Oh, you really didn't seem to know. My apologies. I was only joking." Even Gladys was put in an awkward position. Annoyed, Gladys said loudly, "No, I'm fine. Never mind." Then she walked away, thinking to herself, "She doesn't even know which families are my allies, and she gets to be the princess? Why is my face getting so hot?" Anna was tense, but if she was embarrassed, it would embarrass John too. She couldn't just ignore this. For John's sake, Gladys came forward to greet her. "Hello, Your Highness. I've been so eager to meet you. I'm so glad you could come. Everyone feels the same way, don't they?" Gladys said with a taunting voice. The atmosphere at the party grew tense as everyone watched their every move. The party on the ship went on. The long-haired woman said with a smile, "Is Count LMN doing well? It's been a while since I've heard from him. He must be in good health. But at this age, it's quite a worry. The topic was Count Leman. My father wants to marry me off." Someone laughed out loud. "Ha ha ha. There's no need to worry so much." Their conversation drifted. Not long ago, he had taken his third wife. "Oh, is that so? Ha ha ha." Hearing them talk, Anna grew sullen and lowered her head. Her hand trembled as she picked up her teacup. Anna realized she understood now. The Walter Hardy Forrester family were Princess Gladys's maternal relatives. The two of them were very close. The invitation sent to me obviously wasn't with good intentions for me to come. I was so happy and rushed to send a reply without knowing. Like a fool, I came here because I completely trusted my husband's response. But as the crown princess, now that I'm here, I can't turn back. Running away would only invite more ridicule. Anna recalled how Gladys had greeted her, the crown princess. Anna felt she could guess their intentions. Suddenly, someone spoke up. His words were spoken softly. They quickly left, and Gladys spoke up. "Is this party perhaps too boring?" Now only the two of them were left at the table. Anna replied, "No, not at all. It's just that I'm a little unused to it." "Yes." Gladys smiled smugly. "Ah, That's right, I heard the crown princess is from the countryside. But you do have an eye for fashion, don't you? That hat is lovely, it suits you very well, Gladys said mockingly. Anna was so nervous she started to sweat. She stammered, "Ah, yes, thank you." But Gladys had no intention of stopping. She started to pick a fight, but it would be better with fewer accessories on the hat. Anna looked down, dejected. Her voice rang in her ears. Abron's ideal type is someone a little purer, more innocent. Anna trembled. Inwardly, Gladys fumed. "Abron, do you hate me so much that you chose this woman?" Gladys looked at Anna, judging her, a clumsy, awkward woman, to choose such a girl. "I see no trace of the authority of a nation's crown princess," Gladys suddenly said. "Please take care of John for me," she said with a heartbroken expression. "From the Lyra incident to the child he lost, he has suffered so much. So, your highness must love him in my place." Her words terrified Anna, and her body trembled uncontrollably. Gladys picked up her teacup and suddenly said, "Ah, and I'd like to give you a piece of advice. In the future, please don't make such mistakes again. We'll be in law soon, and it will be difficult if you remain so naive." Gladys smiled smugly. Seeing Anna's bewildered expression, she was even more amused. Gladys stated, "You're lucky I was here today to save you from an awkward situation, but that won't always be the case." Gladys stood up abruptly and said, "I wish you a happy honeymoon, your highness." Then, she left. "Luckily I was here today, so you avoided an awkward situation, but that won't always be the case." Dejected, Anna clutched her hat and stumbled away from the party. Suddenly, she stopped. John was standing in the distance. She was surprised, John. John glanced at her, amused. Anna remained silent, looking upset. "Well, yes?" John asked curiously. "Was the party on the boat fun? I heard about a tea party." Anna interrupted, frowning angrily. "Yes, Viscountess Forrester's tea party." He stopped when he heard that, frowning as he asked, "Forrester?" Seeing his suspicious reaction, Anna became bewildered. "Don't tell me you didn't know?" He stepped closer to her and called her name, Anna. "Before accepting an invitation, you should consult with Karen first," he reminded her, his expression stern and emotionless. But Anna was frightened. His gaze was cold and indifferent. He was blaming his wife for trusting her husband. Anna remembered that day, how much she had liked it. He had been a bit indifferent and uncaring, but his flirtatious eyes and smile seemed so loving during their tea time. "I was so tense, trying not to miss a single moment of eye contact, hoping to look beautiful in that instant." He had been a bit indifferent and uncaring, but his flirtatious eyes and smile seemed so loving during their tea time. He really didn't care about the wife sitting across from him, just nodding vaguely, not even remembering her answers. I don't know how many times I adjusted my posture and fiddled with the ribbon. Anna realized it now, but it wasn't like that at all. He really didn't care. The wife sitting across from him just nodded vaguely, not even remembering her answers. Anna spoke up. "Yes, I'm sorry." Anna saw the delegation behind him. Standing there with them, she thought to herself and spoke softly. "I'll be more careful in the future." Anna thought she couldn't humiliate her husband, Prince Legend, in front of everyone. Her hands trembled as she clutched her hat. John was as cold as ice. "Go and rest, Anna. I'll be back before dinner," he informed her. Then, John left with the delegation, leaving Anna behind. Anna was left alone, dejected. Evening began to fall. The ship glided smoothly across the sea. Anna stood in the wind, hearing a soft chewing sound. Anna felt a strange emotion. How should she describe this feeling? She recalled Gladys's words. "In the future, please don't make such mistakes again." Anna looked at the pastry in her hand and wondered, is this indignation? To ask myself if I was disappointed or sad about those words would be giving them too much power. The piece of chocolate melted in her mouth. Anna hesitated. "The chocolate Lisa gave me is really sweet." Anna remembered Lisa always reminding her to eat something sweet when she was sad. She thought to herself it would be a while before Lisa found out what happened. She would be even angrier than I am. Anna looked up at the sky, dejected on the massive ship. As expected, Lisa is the only one who thinks of me. Recalling the party this morning, Anna sighed. I had already prepared myself. As the crown princess, I wouldn't be welcomed anywhere. But the fact that even my own husband isn't on my side is heartbreaking. Thinking about it, Anna felt resentful and cursed silently. He's truly a poisonous mushroom. She recalled the newspaper articles about his private life. The prince who was a concern for the royal family. A womanizer, a playboy, debauched, a terrible man. But the John I met was completely different. Of course, that could just be a facade. But he's definitely not the person they described. Or am I wrong? Anna's head throbbed. She whispered, I want to believe in John, the one who reaches out to me whenever I'm in a desperate situation. His steady gaze and warmth, that fleeting smile that looked like love. Anna looked up at the sky sadly, thinking, I have to accept this fate that is so immense and grand. But I was the one who chose it. Even if it means swallowing a poisonous mushroom, I must be happy. Anna remembered what her grandmother told her. My dear, you must live a happy life for Annette's sake. Anna prepared to turn and leave. Anna reminded herself, be strong. Anna stayed, her body adorned in a splendid gown, her gloves laid out and ready. A handsome John appeared, wearing his formal uniform, looking thoughtful. Are you sure a private meeting won't be a problem, Prince? No, John smiled. He was afraid Prince Legend would be scolded by the king. The butler, thinking he had overstepped, quickly backtracked. What was I thinking? What's the big deal? John replied casually. If there's some kind of scandal, it's all the more reason to meet privately. That way, it's less embarrassing for me, isn't it? Just then, Anna called his name from a distance. John, Anna asked worriedly. Will it really be all right? John proposed. If there is a problem, will the crown princess come with me? Anna replied quickly and decisively. If that is what you wish. John started questioning his own existence. Anna remained firm, not wavering in the slightest. John mused that since they'd boarded the ship, Anna had been a little different. He recalled how she had timidly asked Han, so, what color envelope would be best? Blue seemed suitable for gentlemen. John was bewildered. She always says surprising things, but only in an adorable way. She never interrupts me. John smiled suggestively. After all that noisy tumbling in bed, now he'd have to kiss her more than usual. He said, Don't worry. I'm just afraid that. I'm afraid. Anna shyly took his hand, turning her face away as she said softly, It's not for my sake, but because I married you. But the relationship between Legend and La. John quickly cut her off. Anna sighed. The relationship between Legend and La is irrelevant. It is now, and it always will be, he thought to himself. When I think about what I had to endure to achieve this, the alliance must remain strong. It has to. John cupped her face. There's no need to drag my wife into this. I decided when I chose La as our honeymoon destination not to schedule this meeting during it. It would be better, but we can't avoid it forever, so it's best to handle it as quickly as possible, Anna said nervously. Thank you. And I'm sorry I couldn't be of any help, so just let me stand behind you, John said, leaning his face close to hers. Anna blushed, her face turning red. What? What do you mean? Seeing her reaction, John smirked. You reacted just like this on the first day when you turned over. All right, he silently accepted her suggestion. All right, he said, then gave her a quick peck. John turned and left, leaving Anna stunned. Then, Anna walked him to his car. After he got in, Anna said softly, John, you'll be home very late tonight, won't you? Anna seemed a little hopeful. Even so, can we have dinner together? John watched her in silence. She looked as lonely as a little rabbit, like an abandoned pet. He smiled and nodded in agreement. Receiving his approval, Anna was overjoyed and smiled brightly. The car then drove off with a clatter of its wheels. John, sitting inside, kept his eyes on her from afar. Anna's small, lovely figure was still waving goodbye. The corner of his mouth turned up unconsciously as John smiled to himself in happiness. Time passed in the kingdom of La. Arthur Hartford greeted him and congratulated him on his marriage. John replied calmly, Thank you, Your Majesty. Though it is late, I wish to express my deepest thanks. For the proposal you sent me through Princess Gladys, John reminded him. You once said you wanted to restore the throne that I lost because of her, John stressed. My views and Your Majesty's differ, so I couldn't agree. But now, Arthur was angered by his words. He frowned and pursed his lips. John continued, I will never forget this concern of yours. The two shook hands, gripping tightly. Seeing John's cold expression, Arthur fumed internally. How dare you use my daughter's affair as an excuse and interfere in another country's internal affairs? The atmosphere between them was tense. You're smart enough to understand what I mean. He was putting on an act, as always. Prince, he began to explain. I have no intention of usurping Legend's throne. If Legend itself wished for it, I only intended to help, to atone for my wicked daughter's sin. He put on a pitiful act, avoiding John's eyes. I understand your intentions, Your Majesty. John's expression suddenly changed. His voice became threatening, and I trust you now understand clearly what Legend desires. Even if Leonard takes the throne, relations between our two countries will not change. My younger brother will be a moderate and strategic king. On the contrary, it might even reduce those risks. Arthur sighed. You truly have no regrets for the throne. John smiled. If I had any, I wouldn't have stepped down. His face darkened at being cut off. He cursed internally, the mad dog of Legend, the nickname of the conqueror King Philip, John's great-grandfather. He made the world know the terror of the Wolf of Nister, personally commanding the naval battle that shattered the combined fleet of 3 nations, including La. He did this before he was even 30. At that time, La was one of the kingdoms mauled by the Mad Dog. It took the biggest bite, but in the end, the Mad Dog was like a thug who brought order through suppression and ushered in an era of stability and prosperity. Philip's descendants were known to be peaceful rulers, unlike their ancestor, but many kingdoms feared that Legend might bare its fangs and claws once again. So they tried by all means to arrange a marriage with their strongest ally. Thus, when Gladys was chosen to be the crown princess for John Nister, La's pride was on cloud 9. The crown prince, nicknamed the Return of the Mad Dog, was therefore even more arrogant, with an aura just like his great-grandfather, the Conqueror. The Mad Dog of Legend, Arthur expressed. Honestly, John, if I can't have you as my son-in-law on the throne, it's probably better for La that you remain a prince far from power. John added, then it's a win-win situation. Arthur was startled. It's beneficial for you and for Legend. This is the best outcome. The king was in disbelief. John wasn't surprised by his reaction. This is no longer an era of chaos, Your Majesty. John added, in that case, it's a win-win. Arthur was startled. Beneficial for you and for Legend. This is for the best. The age of conquerors is over. Now is the time for negotiation. John appeared calm, making a casual, probing gesture with his hands. Internally, it's about regulating order and making drastic changes. Externally, it's about keeping the balance of power from tipping. Arthur frowned. If you have no ambition for the throne, what value do you offer? At this, John smiled benevolently. Legend already has a suitable leader. I simply don't wish to contribute in ways that go against my principles. Arthur frowned and said, if you have no ambition for the throne, what value do you offer? At this, John smiled benevolently. Prince Alexander bought a legend warhorse, or so the buzzing rumors claimed. His blood boiled and his face darkened as he cursed under his breath. He quickly showed his scheming nature, buying into the Bank of Law for that very reason. But I also found out about it not long ago. Prince Alexander bought a legend warhorse. The rumors buzzed. His blood boiled and his face darkened. Arthur cursed under his breath. How can you compare a bank merger to a racehorse? John said, seeing the king's tense expression. John teased, don't worry, your majesty. Leonard is well aware of the price our two nations must pay for this friendship. Even without a marriage, this alliance will remain strong. That will hold true for his entire reign. For Leonard, I give you my word on the honor of Nister. Then John stood up from his chair. He stood up abruptly and said loudly, that door can be opened now, can it? John reminded him with a frown. The ministers of legend must be worried that this troublesome prince might be struck down by the angered king. Being pushed around by John, he didn't dare to fight back. He sighed. What a real pity, he said softly. I'm going to be seen as a troublemaker either way. What do you say I just lean into that reputation? No, John stopped him. You must understand. I'm on my honeymoon, your majesty. The king patted his shoulder helplessly. Ha ha ha, I'm sure you know what I mean. I'm suddenly curious why you were so set on this marriage, with such a beautiful bride and all. Back in legend, Anna frowned slightly. Karen, standing beside her, was incredibly bored. For hours, all Anna had done was study the royal family tree. She kept wondering why there were so many names. It felt like the aches of old age were setting in. Karen felt her bones ache as she massaged her neck. Annoyed, she couldn't bring herself to move. It's so tiring here. Noticing Karen's boredom, Anna said softly, I'm sorry, Karen. You must be tired, aren't you? Karen looked up and insisted, No, your highness, I am simply doing my job. Karen's answer stunned Anna. Anna asked curiously, I heard you've worked for John for a long time. Mrs. Peace said you are very loyal, and I agree. Hearing this, Karen grew suspicious. What is this about? Karen suddenly asked. May I ask what you're trying to say, your highness? Anna smiled. I know you're not happy with me. Because you cherish and love John. Karen was startled and looked at her, bewildered. Karen stammered, Your highness, what are you saying? Anna explained, I know I have many shortcomings as his wife. It's clear from the way you look at me. So I will study harder. I will strive to become a princess consort who is no longer timid. So please, you must help me. I'm counting on you. Yes, Karen frowned at Anna's words, thinking to herself, she's useless for anything but bed. But it seems she wants to fulfill her duties as his wife. Karen bowed her head in acceptance. Yes, your highness. Later, a messenger arrived with news from the prince, saying his work would finish late today. Therefore, the princess consort should have her dinner first. Karen closed the door and spoke. Is that so? Karen said slyly, You should report this after the princess consort is dressed. She thought to herself, barging in now would be quite rude. After all the effort she put into her makeup, she should put on a little show, right? Suddenly, Lisa exclaimed, Oh, isn't that them over there? Karen's eyes widened as she looked into the distance. Karen wondered, what are Princess Gladys's ladies-in-waiting doing here? That afternoon, they brought rumors with them. She should be so ashamed. Anna and Lisa appeared in the distance, their voices growing louder. To have a honeymoon trip with the exact same itinerary as Princess Gladys. That's why she's embarrassing legend in front of everyone from Law, but at least she performs her duties in bed. Haha. The laughter reached Anna's ears. Lisa heard them and rushed forward angrily, shouting, You people! Anna tried to hold her back. Lisa stopped, but her face was still full of anger. Anna gave a faint smile, as if to say she was fine. She sighed, feeling neglected. They had been in Law for almost 10 days, but no one paid any mind to the princess consort. Occasionally, she had to get lucky, just to have dinner with the prince. Most of the time, she had no visitors, spending her days waiting for her husband or strolling with her lady-in-waiting. Anna wondered to herself, if this is how we're going to treat each other, was such an extravagant wedding really necessary? Lisa was upset and looked down sullenly. Anna called out worriedly, Lisa, look! Just then, a small squirrel appeared on the tree. Anna smiled. Isn't it cute? Lisa forced a smile at the crown princess's innocence. Lisa sighed. The crown princess was really something else. Anna said softly, Thank you, Karen. I've troubled you so much again today. Karen bowed deeply and said, Not at all. It is my duty. Then I will have someone prepare your bath. After that, Karen turned and left. Anna looked up to watch her go, then looked at the book in her hand and whispered, Thanks to Karen's help, I've built a network within the high society of legend and law. Anna thought that she had done her best. But in the end, all I found was hopelessness. If I remove the ladies who are close to Princess Gladys, there's hardly anyone left on the list. Anna looked out the window as the sky darkened. She sighed. John said he would be late tonight. At least he told me in advance, as long as he doesn't make me wait and then stand me up. Lisa set the book aside. Anna decided, All right, I'll write a letter to my grandmother. Anna thought to herself, but even with the letter, I can't figure out what to write next. After hesitating for a while, she finally filled the letter with lies. Lisa appeared and announced, "The bath is ready, Your Highness." Afterwards, Anna soaked in the tub, attended by 2 maids. John appeared and said, "You've worked hard, you may leave and rest." The 2 maids obeyed and left, whispering, "We barely did anything today." John changed his clothes, guessing that Anna wasn't done with her bath yet. Exhausted, he flopped onto the bed and let out a heavy sigh. He was utterly exhausted, from having lunch with the law diplomatic representative, to meeting with the bank acquisition team, and then entertaining Prince Alexander with drinks, that 7th younger brother of Gladys. John realized all 3 princes of law were the same. But this guy acted a bit differently when he didn't know Gladys's secret. No, John thought to himself, he just made pathetic threats. When he found out the truth, he got angry and then begged, "Please forgive me," thinking of the image of him sobbing his eyes out. Sobbing away, John couldn't help but laugh. "How ridiculous," he mumbled. "Gladys and John are clearly a perfect match, but," and sob, "I wonder if this is a cruel joke of fate," John whispered. "It's not a joke of fate, but a joke played by your beautiful and talented sister with that damned poet. Damn it," he cried so bitterly, biting his lip. "John, how can you be with that kind of woman?" An image of Anna appeared in his mind. That kind of woman. He cursed those Hartford bastards. A bunch of sickos. John thought back to that moment, how he had to show a patience he never knew he had, all for gold, la currency, and stocks. That bastard's words haunted him. That kind of woman. It came from the mouths of sycophants who praised the princess as a noble goddess marrying into her husband's family. But carrying another man's child and behaving so indecently, how ridiculous. The nobility and royalty were dying of curiosity. Prince Philip, the man who won over Gladys, the treasured flower of the nation. But in reality, you people never considered that kind of woman to be on par with a princess. "I will never let this go," a voice called out. "John." He turned around unconsciously. Anna appeared in her nightgown and said softly, "You said you would be late." Seeing her there, John pushed his thoughts aside and opened his arms, beckoning her closer. Anna smelled alcohol on him and asked, "Have you been drinking? Are you drunk?" "No." John quickly pulled her into an embrace, inhaling her scent. Anna was startled. "Ah!" She quickly tried to stop him. "Hey, John, what's wrong?" He replied, "It's nothing. Your scent helps calm me down." Anna fell silent, letting him hold her tightly. Anna said softly, "That's good, because I was very diligent today. I took a walk with Lisa in the forest behind the palace, and with Karen's help, I learned more about the nobility and even wrote a letter to my grandmother. I had tea and traditional pastries, including the pecan pie that I shared with Lisa. I'll give some to the squirrel tomorrow." Before she could finish, he captured her lips in a kiss. Anna closed her eyes, melting into him as a soft moan escaped. They kissed passionately, and then he pushed her down onto the bed. Anna recalled this with a hint of sadness. A shiver of pleasure ran down her spine. With every breath that passed, the sensations in her body betrayed her mind. But what hurt even more was my own self. Anna let him ravage her body. Anna recalled, "I was such a fool. The moment I saw John come home, I was happy as a child, wanting to tell him so many things even at that very moment. I couldn't even bring myself to hate him. I knew my body was covered in marks he'd left, as he continued to work diligently on top of me." As she loosened the tie of his shirt, she recalled the servants' whispers. Anna thought to herself, "I don't need to mind other people's idle gossip. I didn't know about this, and this isn't a marriage I chose. I had decided to become an invisible shadow that no one would see in Princess Gladys's kingdom. So it's okay." A tear rolled down her cheek. Anna told herself it would definitely be okay. Suddenly, John froze, startled and sweating. He reached out his hand. "Anna," John cried out, but she quickly flinched back, avoiding his touch. Seeing her reaction, John grew incredibly tense. He never expected her to act that way. Her body, covered in marks, was trembling uncontrollably. John was terrified by the sight of her. He was stunned, his face drenched in sweat. It was as if she had endured something horrible. An image of Arian flashed through his mind. John froze. He worried. Could she be thinking about that? The sight of a father taking advantage of his daughter, an innocent face filled with fear. The body trembling uncontrollably. John was stunned. Just then, a faint voice called out, "John!" Anna reached out with a trembling hand and touched his cheek. Anna said softly, "I'm okay. It's not that I'm uncomfortable, really. It's just that." Anna thought to herself, "I was worried that it was a bit too intense today, along with the strong smell of alcohol. But I'm not scared," she thought. Anna suggested, "Please, could you go a little slower?" She thought, "I know you're not the kind of man who would hurt me." Anna repeated, "Could you please be a little more gentle?" John was again surprised by her actions. "It's quite funny," he thought. He gently kissed her hand. "This situation is a bit awkward. I like this woman, and this moment is making me want to burst out laughing." Feeling more cherished by him than ever before, Anna whispered, "Thank you." Then, she wrapped her arms around his neck. Anna mentally prepared herself and said softly, "It's okay now. You can continue." He pulled her into a tight embrace, a satisfied smirk playing on his lips. Night fell upon the spacious room, with the two of them holding each other tightly after giving it their all. Exhausted, Anna drifted off to sleep, while John quietly looked after her. He gently kissed her forehead, a silent gesture of affection. Anna blushed, her face turning bright red. He saw her face was red as a tomato. John smiled. "After seducing and teasing me, you're getting shy now?" You're so adorable." The sound of a door opening was heard. John quickly grabbed the nearby robe. Anna sat up and grabbed his hand, holding him back. "John, don't go. Please just sleep here." John sighed. "This again." John refused bluntly. "Anna, I'm not comfortable sleeping with someone else." Anna quickly replied, "Me neither, but we're married." Anna said in confusion, "Even if it's a bit uncomfortable, aren't we supposed to be together? Marriage is a journey where two people walk a thorny path together." John frowned and asked coldly, "Who told you that?" Anna replied, "The priest." "Surely you understand." John's retort, "That's just a fallacious excuse for a path that doesn't even exist. There are no thorns." Anna still refused to accept it, trying to persuade him, "I'm not making excuses. Let's just try a little harder, okay?" John got annoyed and cursed under his breath. "I'd love to deal with those thorns in bed. Damn that priest," he said aloud. "Why do we suddenly have to do this?" Anna pressed, "But you are my husband." "What is a husband anyway?" "He is family, a friend, and your most intimate lover. A companion to walk with until the end of your life and a steadfast pillar of support. He is a dream, hope, and love. Even if I'm not the one saying it. You know this too, don't you, Prince?" John hesitated. "Those are also the priest's words." Anna denied it. "No, that's just my own perspective." He let out a long sigh. Anna wondered in confusion. Is he angry? She watched him intently, daring not to look away, her hand still clutching his shirt. John smiled. "Sleeping together isn't enough. Now you want us to bathe together." "Together!" Anna quickly let go of his shirt and waved her hands in refusal. I'm sorry," she thought. "Maybe he isn't going to leave after all," Anna said. "Well, you should go take your bath then." Anna acted like an eager puppy, waving goodbye before turning back, leaving him speechless. Suddenly, John swept her into his arms. Anna cried out, "Ah, John!" He headed straight for the bathroom. Anna was flustered. "No, don't tell me where," John whispered. "It's frustrating to only give and receive nothing in return. Shouldn't I enjoy some benefits too?" John smirked triumphantly. Then, he started humming. He ignored her futile struggles. A long, thorny autumn night began. By the hearth's fire, John exclaimed, "What a beautiful, soft, and warm dream." Like a feather, John drifted into sleep. A feather! John jolted awake. Anna was hugging him, fast asleep. Seeing Anna sleeping like a puppy amused him. She was breathing evenly. Ah, her breath. He gently sat up. So this is the true form of Long Vu. He couldn't take his eyes off her, gazing at her with a smile. He recalled Anna once saying, "I will absolutely not disturb your highness's sleep." John thought back to the first night. When I decided to walk this thorny path, Anna had made that promise. But on the first day, they shared a bed but slept so far apart you could fit 2 more people between them. On the second day, the gap narrowed to fit 1 person. On the third, she was even closer, sleeping so peacefully beside me. John smiled. The distance gradually closed, but she always ended up with her back to him. John watched her silently, wondering, how can you sleep so soundly and defenselessly next to a scoundrel like me? When did you put your pajamas back on? You know, I admit I couldn't sleep well the first night, but now it's gotten to the point where, even with Anna's back to me, I still have sweet dreams. This thorny path isn't as difficult as I thought. He glanced at her gently. He was curious. Her hand was already so small, but now, John stared at her, mesmerized. A bell chimed, and tea was brought in. John's hand gently brushed her face. He called softly, "Anna." She blinked her eyes open and replied softly, "Good morning." Seeing him beside her, Anna happily took his hand and called his name softly, "John." He smiled in return. Early in the morning, Lisa closed the door with a soft thud. She mumbled, 2 cups of tea today." Lisa couldn't hide her happiness, cheering silently. "Take that, you who looked down on the crown princess." She recalled seeing them together this morning. "It was so shocking, my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. Even their clothes were off." Just like that, the rumor spread like wildfire. The prince ordered 2 cups of tea for the crown princess's room. The news exploded among the servants. "What?" Lisa was bewildered. "What is it? Why this reaction?" Lisa thought a husband and wife having tea in bed. Isn't that perfectly normal? They all reacted with confusion, especially the servants who had served the prince for a long time. Being even more surprised than them, I realized, isn't this something special? Lisa thought happily to herself. Since then, I've been praying nonstop for days. Let's prepare 2 cups of tea tomorrow too. Lisa appeared like a queen. "Here I am. Hello, headmaid." Seeing Karen, Lisa quickly taunted her in revenge. "It seems there's no need to prepare the prince's tea separately. I will handle it. I will be serving 2 cups to the crown princess's bedroom." Lisa whispered playfully in her ear. "The 2 of them are so passionate. It truly makes me feel so fulfilled. Don't you feel the same, headmaid?" Karen was infuriated by Lisa's taunts. Blood rushed to her head, her face tensed. "Lisa Brielle, how many times must I tell you not to waste time like this?" Lisa feigned obedience. Yes, then hastily turned to leave, trying to hide a smirk. Karen frowned, clutching her head in frustration and fuming silently. How did that insolent country bumpkin get this position? Her eyes snapped open as she remembered something. Karen recalled that early this morning, Jade had come to see her again. Back then, she had exclaimed in surprise, "Really? The princess actually ordered this?" Jane then cheerfully pointed to the letter in her hand. Jane said confidently, "Yes, just look. Can't you see it's the princess's handwriting?" Karen paled, examining the letter closely. then exclaimed in amazement, "This rounded handwriting, it's definitely the princess's." Then Jane continued, "I will wait and trust only you. I'll be going now." Karen walked down the empty hall, her mind in turmoil. The first time Jane came to me, she said she wanted to know the crown princess's schedule. I'm not sure why. Maybe I felt guilty for being an informant, but I believed helping Princess Gladys meant helping the prince, so I gladly told her. Besides, the crown princess just wanders around the palace all day. What kind of schedule could she have? But this time was different. She only stays in the palace all day. What schedule could there be? But this time is an exception. Why? Yes, she thought. This afternoon I'm supposed to lead the crown princess to the lake behind the palace. She was confused, squeezing her eyes shut, unsure of what to do. I have to keep my head down. There aren't many chances to meet, so it must be done this way. What should I do? Before she knew it, it was time to eat. Anna and John sat beside each other in silence. Unsure of what to do, she kept her head down. There aren't many chances to meet, so it must be done this way. Anna lifted her teacup, sneaking an amused glance at his stern face. After the meal, Anna followed John to his carriage to see him off. She suddenly called out hesitantly, "John, do I look too plain?" John was confused by her strange question and didn't answer. Anna's expression grew flustered as she added, "I like pretty things like floral patterns or lace." John cut her off, and Anna's face flushed. She then asked a more direct question. Anna's expression grew flustered as she added, "I like pretty things like floral patterns or lace. But as long as it's beautiful, that's all that matters." Anna's eyes widened as she repeated, "I'm beautiful?" John teased her skeptically. "I was just curious what your highness thinks of them," he exclaimed, puzzled. "Why ask me that? It's true they aren't trendy. But as long as it's beautiful, that's all that matters." Anna's eyes widened as she repeated, "I'm beautiful?" John teased her skeptically. "You're not asking out of curiosity. You're just being falsely modest. What is this conversation even about?" She quickly waved her hands, protesting. "No, that's not it. Doesn't everyone have their own standard of beauty? So I mean, in your eyes." But John quickly spoke again, dispelling Anna's self-doubt. "You are beautiful." She was stunned by his words. John then added gently, "Anyone with eyes would think so. Just do whatever you like." Anna smiled softly and happily. With her heart full of joy, she clasped her hands together. Then, she blurted out from the bottom of her heart, "Thank you, your highness. You also look very elegant." John began to tease her. Anna immediately froze, her face flushing as she thought in embarrassment. "So that's it. You knew all along." "He knew everything. What do I say now?" John got into the carriage, glanced at her, and then broke into a wide smirk. Anna waved goodbye to him, her heart pounding wildly in her chest. And John's earlier words, "You are beautiful." Anna couldn't stop replaying what he said, feeling a mix of emotions and embarrassment. How beautiful. Now that memory alone is a beautiful thing. I haven't felt lonely at all today. How beautiful. Now that memory alone is a beautiful thing. I haven't felt lonely at all today. Yes, come in, Karen. The weather suddenly felt like autumn with someone's sigh. Yes, come in, Karen. With that person's sigh, the weather suddenly felt like autumn. Soon, all the maple leaves will have fallen. The blonde girl and her maids rode leisurely, enjoying the scenery by the calm river, just as the blonde girl was at her saddest. But when will Legend's troop be leaving La? The maids instantly realized their mistake and fell silent, quickly turning to gauge her expression. One of them swiftly changed the subject, dispelling the awkward atmosphere. "I heard it's in about 4 days. I just hope they leave soon so things can be peaceful again." Dispelling the awkward atmosphere. "I heard it's in about 4 days. I just hope they leave soon so things can be peaceful again." I can't believe he gave up the master palace for the one who picked a fight with Gladys. The prince is so considerate. The gossiping whispers continued, but they lowered their voices so only they could hear. "You've seemed so noticeably sad lately, milady. It must be hard to speak of it. After all, your ex-husband is on a honeymoon with his new wife." She lowered her eyes dejectedly, thinking to herself, 3 o'clock. The blonde girl recalled the letter she had sent to Karen. "Today at 3 p.m., bring the crown princess to the lake behind the master palace." The blonde girl thought, annoyed. Could Karen have changed? She used to be so loyal to me. The blonde girl's hand tightened on the reins. With her mind in turmoil, she told herself with a determined voice. The blonde girl gripped the reins tighter, her mind in turmoil. She told herself with resolve, "No, I can't." His words from the past suddenly replayed in the blonde girl's head. "Let go of all that regret, blonde girl." Back then, her eyes had widened in shock. Then John had added in a low voice, "She is a good woman. I cherish her." Her face instantly turned to stone, unable to utter another word. Deep in her heart, the blonde girl was slowly shattering. The tyrannical John Nister said that about his wife. His words were like a knife stabbing my heart. I know, even though I know, my heart aches terribly. It's making it hard for me to breathe. Why don't you treat me like her? Extreme regret. A humiliating feeling of defeat. A terrible woman driven by base desires, who can't deceive anyone, has taken everything I've lost. What hell could be more terrible than this? I've never envied or hated anyone this much before. It's a stain that can't be washed away. Probing the prince, scheming so despicably. Instead of feeling guilty, I'm just sinking deeper into this mess. If you still intend to hurt this despicable ex-wife, then this is indeed a perfect choice. Suddenly, 2 people appeared before the blonde girl, along with a servant's voice. It pulled her wandering mind back. Oh, who's here? And another person. Why, it's Anna and Lisa's maid. They were looking up at her cheerfully. The corners of the blonde girl's mouth curled into a faint smile. Full of excitement, she stared at Anna, thinking to herself, Karen didn't betray me. At the luxurious mansion, John asked silently with suspicion. Karen bowed respectfully to him. Then, she slowly reported, she went out to the lake for some fresh air. She thought in a panic, why is he back so early? He repeated, puzzled, the lake? Karen quickly answered respectfully. Yes, at the Monster Palace, not far from here. John sat on the desk and flipped open a book. Russell, that place. He smiled faintly. It's fine, there's only a forest, a lake, and squirrels there. He remembered Anna's happy smile when she told him. Today, Lisa and I saw a squirrel and fed it almonds. John had helplessly questioned her then. You must tell me. Just then, John's hand suddenly stopped on a certain page. His face stiffened, his eyes deep in thought. With cold sweat on her forehead, Karen bowed her head low and said, My apologies, Your Highness. I wasn't notified of your early return, so I haven't finished preparing. John answered her casually. It's fine. Russell, Anna, what do you think of her? Karen froze, her eyes wide with shock at his question. Well, I am in no position to judge her. John remarked coldly. Is that so? She answered obediently. Yes, Your Highness. The book in his hand suddenly slammed shut. That's strange, because I can see the judgment in your eyes. Elsewhere, the blonde girl was walking with Anna, intentionally bringing up old stories about her and John. In this very greenhouse, I received the proposal letter from La Legend, she exclaimed boastfully. It was a gorgeous letter. I've never seen a more beautiful one. The blonde girl intentionally asked Anna a question. It left her flustered, unsure how to answer. The crown princess received a proposal letter like that too, right? Anna thought dejectedly. It was no coincidence that Karen suggested I walk by the lake near the Master Palace. It's a favorite place of the royal relatives and it's nearby, so you don't need anyone's permission. I was a bit hesitant because she was being unusually friendly. Anna bowed her head and answered in a low voice. Instead of a letter, I received flowers. Your Highness, they were bright red roses. The blonde girl immediately feigned surprise. She exclaimed, Oh my, so you got married without a proposal letter at all. And John is such an eloquent letter writer. How cruel. Anna now fully understood her calculating intentions. She clearly meant no good. But she didn't try to hide it either. Maybe because it wasn't the first time, I was much calmer than during the awkward boat party. The blonde girl walked ahead, offering, Let me show you my favorite flowers. Anna couldn't tolerate it any longer and spoke up firmly. Princess, what is it you're trying to say? I assume you asked me here alone for a reason. Gladys was stunned for a moment, then she suddenly gave a sarcastic smirk. What are you talking about, Crown Princess? It seems you've misunderstood. I was only going to show you the beautiful flowers over there. Because you love flowers so much. Anna sighed softly. She really didn't want to argue with someone like Gladys. I once wanted to carry a bouquet of orchids down the aisle, but Mrs. Piz's stern face and firm reply. Anna remembered it clearly to this day. You can't. Absolutely not. She could almost hear Mrs. Piz's stern voice. Seeing the orchids in the princess's greenhouse, the difference in our circumstances became painfully real. Gladys, walking ahead, suddenly stopped. She turned to Anna with a bright smile. The orchids are beautiful, aren't they? The crown princess must live her entire life in the shadow of the princess, Gladys said. This is my favorite type of flower. But it seems the crown princess does as well. We have so much in common, liking the same flower, and liking the same man. That's a bit rude of me. I apologize. Anna just stood there, calmly looking at Gladys. With a triumphant smile, and seeing Anna's silence, Gladys assumed she was angry. Gladys added more fuel to the fire. Pink orchids are a rare species only found in La. I'll give you some as a gift when I return. Gladys stepped forward and gently touched a pink orchid. She looked down at the flower, but her words were cruelly aimed at Anna. John was once my husband, you know. I want to restore John to his rightful place. If we were to reunite, we could win back the trust of the Legend people. I want to restore John to his rightful place. If we were to reunite, we could win back the trust of the Legend people. And of course, John will reclaim the position that is rightfully his. Who in this world is more fit for the throne than John? After Gladys's accusatory words, there was a long silence. At last, Anna quietly asked Gladys, Why are you saying these things to me? Gladys laughed in response, I don't mean anything by it. It's just a meaningless story from the past. Suddenly, Gladys heard John's voice echoing in her ear. The wife I cherish. She frowned, glaring at Anna with rage and jealousy. A woman like this, if you only understood, if you gave me a bit more time, you would see that I never once deceived you. If our marriage hadn't ended, we could have thrived in our roles. Yes, Gladys continued to torment Anna, all because she remained so silent. You married him and turned everything into a fantasy, Crown Princess. Surely you can give John something more wonderful than I ever could. Right? I'm sure you wouldn't use such a brilliant man just to pay off your mother's family debt and gain a noble title. Deep down, Gladys thought the more she hurt Anna, the better. The spot next to John is no longer mine. This woman shouldn't even hope to see that face. She must be desperate to escape this awful situation. Gladys thought she was close to achieving her goal. She quickly said, So shall we. But fate had other plans. Anna suddenly spoke, interrupting Gladys. Princess, I have one question. Gladys was seething with rage, but she forced herself to remain calm. Go ahead. Anna lowered her voice and said seriously, if I were a proper lady, I wouldn't call another woman's husband by his first name. Is the etiquette in law different from that in legend? But even if it is, I hope the princess will follow the proper etiquette here. Gladys couldn't believe her ears. She stared at Anna and said, what? Anna continued, and to be honest, I didn't know my husband well when he was crowned Prince of Burford. I hope the princess will follow the etiquette of legend. Gladys couldn't believe her ears. She stared at Anna and said, what? Anna continued to speak, and in fact, I didn't know my husband well when he was crowned Prince of Burford. I'm from the countryside and didn't receive news like that. This spring was the first time I ventured out into the world. The John Nister I know is the man he has been since that day. I am well aware that I hold no power. Just as you said, I married him while shouldering a great debt. Anna replied gently, no, I just wanted to say what was on my mind. Thank you for offering the pink orchids, but I must refuse. I only like the white ones. And I have no intention of removing the decorations on my hat because Anna had once been told by her husband that it was beautiful just as it was. So now, Anna drew strength from that memory to face this jealousy. No, I just wanted to say what was on my mind. Thank you for your offer of the pink orchids, but I must refuse because I only like the color white and I also have no intention. She removed the decorations from her hat because her husband once told her, you're beautiful enough as you are. So now Anna uses that as motivation to face the jealousy. I despise your jealousy, princess. You're already so beautiful. I'll be leaving now. Behind her, as soon as she turned away, Gladys shouted, Princess, do you think you truly know your husband? Anna turned to look at her. Gladys's voice dropped. Do you know how terrifying and cruel John Nestor is? Anna was silent for a moment, then asked Gladys if he was truly like that. Why would a princess seek out such a terrifying and cruel man again? Anna had a point. Gladys couldn't land a blow on the resilient country girl. Anna politely bowed her head slightly as a farewell. Gladys was left alone in the greenhouse with Anna's favorite pink orchids. The air outside was a great relief. Her maid, Lisa, screamed at the coachman, open the carriage door right now. The door flew open and Anna stumbled out. Luckily, Lisa was there to catch her. Are you all right? Lisa asked worriedly before she noticed something. She yelled at the coachman again. Stay back, bring some water, hurry. Anna clutched her mouth, gasping for air. Beads of sweat dotted her forehead, seeing her mistress trembling and in so much pain. Lisa was terribly upset. She told the coachman, please go a bit slower. The coachman quickly complied. I'll drive as gently as I can. Anna lay exhausted in Lisa's lap, her eyes unfocused. Are you feeling better now? Anna whispered back to Lisa. I must be crazy. I don't know what I just did. Lisa adjusted the pillow to make her more comfortable. Everyone in high society and the royal family is insane. If they're all mad, you might as well do as you please, but is the housekeeper in cahoots with Princess Gladys? Otherwise, how could such an indecent coincidence happen? Why on the very day the housekeeper suggested a stroll? Why did it have to be the royal ladies out for a ride? So why on the day the housekeeper suggested she go out, why? We can't let them get away with this. I should tell the prince and teach them a lesson since you've already won his favor. Anna opened her pale lips to speak. Lisa, what happened by the lake today is a secret. I'm counting on you. Lisa squeezed Anna's hands, asking in a pained voice, Anna, is this really worth getting so upset about? Anna answered, I'm heartbroken. Lisa was confused. But why? Anna stared at the carriage ceiling, her eyes distant and lonely. I'm so heartbroken that I want to keep this a secret. Lisa bit her lip until it nearly bled. Why does it have to be this way? If you're hurt, you have to fight back. Even if it means rolling in the mud or pulling their hair, you have to fight to win. If you're hurt, you have to fight back. Even if it means rolling in the mud or pulling their hair, you have to fight to win. Anna smiled faintly and whispered, Thank you, Lisa. But that smile was unsettling, like trees shedding their leaves in autumn. Anna smiled faintly and whispered, Thank you, Lisa. But that smile was unsettling, like trees shedding their leaves in autumn. In Anna's study, housekeeper Karen was restless and anxious. She was biting her nails, a nervous habit. What should I do? The princess is coming back soon. What if she tells the prince what happened today? Speak of the devil. You said one shouldn't judge rashly. Housekeeper Karen looked up, her face turning ashen at John's appearance. So you're just a mediocre housekeeper. Which is it? Her face turned ashen at John's appearance. That just means you're a mediocre housekeeper. Which is better? Housekeeper Karen noticed the small notebook on the desk under John's hand. It was the princess's notebook. I know exactly what she wrote in there and what the prince is implying. Really, besides Princess Gladys. It's hard to socialize meaningfully, but there are still boundaries. The family members are close to the princess. But the madam is not. Outwardly, she seems close to the royals, but inwardly the relationship is already broken. Of course, they don't show it because they want the princess to be isolated. Housekeeper Karen quickly bowed her head. I apologize, Your Highness, it was my mistake. John slowly walked over to Housekeeper Karen. She flinched, and though her head was bowed, John could still see how pale her face was. It looked like John was about to do something, but he just told the housekeeper, Pour me a cup of tea. Karen didn't dare raise her head. She stood there on trembling legs, trying desperately not to collapse. I barely got out of the last mess. If the princess talks about what happened this time, I'm done for. Even if I pretend not to know, the prince won't fall for it. The next moment, the clatter of horse hooves sounded outside. Housekeeper Karen rushed out to greet Anna. You've returned, Your Highness. Anna didn't answer, just looked at Housekeeper Karen in silence for a moment. Lisa grumbled a sullen, yes. Anna smiled a weary smile. Thanks to you, I got some fresh air, it was nice. Thank you, Karen. Housekeeper Karen couldn't understand why Anna was saying this to her. Did she not meet the princess? However, Lisa's dark, hateful glare, which looked like it could swallow Karen whole, told her everything. She must have met her. She definitely met her. The prince returned early, Your Highness. Anna was quite surprised by this. Right then, John was still in Anna's study. How foolish. Wherever Gladys Hartford is, there is no place for you. So you've poured your heart into this notebook of yours. John recalled Anna's radiant smile as she said, I'm studying diligently with Karen every day. He clicked his tongue. I just want to toss this into the fire. Just then, the door swung open. Anna walked in with a smile. She had always been a pure woman, but now something was different. Noticing her pale complexion, John asked, Not well? Anna hastily shook her head. No, I'm not sick. John looked at Anna and remained silent. Anna looked back. Anna looked at John, then her eyes fell on the notebook in his hand. Flustered, she cried out, What are you reading? My notebook, is that mine? It's rude to touch someone's things without asking. John used his height advantage to hold the notebook high above her head. It's not like it's a huge secret, is it? Anna's eyes welled with tears. But it's still mine. It's impolite to look without permission, John scoffed. So, a person who is so clear-headed wrote this tangled mess. Anna felt her emotions begin to spiral. What did you just say? John still didn't register the odd tone in Anna's voice. He looked at the notebook and remarked, With writing like this, who are you trying to connect with, Anna, your maid, or a squirrel? Anna's face fell even further at his question. This time, John definitely noticed and was taken aback. John fell silent. He placed the notebook back on the desk. Anna hid her hands behind her back, clutching her skirt tightly. I don't know what you think, but I have truly been working hard. A tangled mess is fine. I could even stand the humiliation and sickness on the road. But now John's thoughtless comment about a tangled mess has sent Anna into a spiral. John started to fear Anna. His anxious wife felt that his words had deeply wounded her self-esteem. His words aren't worth crying over. Keep your pride, don't cry, Anna. The next moment, John wrapped his arms around Anna's waist and pulled her into his arms. Anna cried out in alarm. John sat her down on the chair. She turned to look at him in astonishment. What are you doing? Without a word, John took off his coat and told her seriously, Pick up your pen. Anna obediently picked up the pen. Her face began to flush. John tapped the pen on the page. These 3 names here, move them. Anna was surprised by his instruction. Yes. John repeated himself. Move them to the empty space over here. Anna thought, these people, but I heard they're close to Princess Gladys. John confirmed without hesitation. Correct. Anna grew even more confused. Really? She asked, looking at her husband with wide eyes. They have good character. Anna expected him to say something defensive like that, but she was wrong. When she heard his calm reply, they use my money. The next moment, Anna was completely stunned, frozen for a few seconds. Then she lowered her head and got back to work. She obediently followed John's instructions and acted as if nothing had happened. Soon enough, it was dark. Anna looked at the names written on the diagram. The once lopsided list was now balanced. There were still many people to be wary of, but the number of people she could befriend wasn't small either. John stood up, capping his pen as he told his wife. Learn the rest from Karen. Anna lowered her head and replied softly, Thank you, sir. Like a fool, my recent annoyance and hurt suddenly vanished, replaced by a fluttering heart. I truly have no self-respect. I will work hard and do my best. John suddenly reached out and gently placed his hand on Anna's cheek. Those words. Anna, look at me and speak like a maiden. Anna then asked John. With a very serious expression and a formal tone, I will stay here quietly to be of use to you and the Archduke. John nodded slightly, his eyes softer than ever. Anna continued to ask her husband. So, after we leave this place, I want to put what I've been taught into practice. Is that okay? John looked into Anna's dreamy eyes and replied softly. Anna wasn't satisfied and pushed a step further. You won't be as busy as you are now, will you? If so, that would be great. Now it was John's turn to ask Anna, why? Anna replied shyly, because we can travel together. This is the first time I've ever traveled in my life. John smiled and continued to ask his little wife, what do you want to do? Anna turned to John, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. If I tell you, you'll do it with me. Not wanting to refuse and upset Anna, John said he would consider it. Anna said excitedly, First, I want us to take a walk together and eat delicious food. And have tea in beautiful places. John asked nonchalantly, Is that all? Anna was a bit stunned. Yes. And talk a lot to get to know each other better. John gave a faint smile. She had spent so long thinking about these meaningless things. Right after that, John suddenly said, I agree to Anna's request. All right, it's settled then. At a small old house in the countryside, Anna's grandmother was reading a letter from her granddaughter. Baroness Hardy smiled softly. It's a relief that Anna is doing well. Griff was happy for her too. Our young lady has truly become the crown princess. Just then, a maid called from outside, My lady, I've brought the tea. Baroness Hardy replied, Thank you. Griff looked at the maid and said with a smile, Many things have changed since the young lady became the crown princess. There are more maids in the mansion. It's like a new house. The house is full and happy, and we have a new carriage that runs well. This dilapidated country house has become a noble residence, all thanks to Lady Anna's magic. Our young lady's birthday is in a few days. She'll have a grand birthday party in a foreign land. Isn't that right? Baroness Hardy nodded slightly. Anna now has the most powerful family in the world by her side. Griff replied, yes, that's right. She will celebrate her 20th birthday like a princess. Thank you for watching today's video. Our story continues with many exciting developments ahead, so don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to support us and not miss the latest chapters. We wish you some relaxing and fun moments. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.